Last time on the Great Ace Attorney 2.
Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all three of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. Si, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosiones, it would have been terrible. This piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence.
Oh, no.
No! This stupid ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and the blue zigzag stripes anyway. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia.
Uh-oh.
If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be war. All and out war. You nasty, nasty man. How dare you? You mean it. Now give me a balloon.
Here you go.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
it is
But I will declare war.
For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question.
Why not?
There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition.
Excuse me? Is something wrong, Master Gotts?
It's Master Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund Ornstein.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear all over Bohemia. I have the photograph here.
Good gracious! An updated autopsy report?
What? And the instantaneous kinesis experiment? Did you take a picture of that?
Yeah, one picture.
Can you show us that photograph?
Of course. And then you will see that I am not lying. That I really did see a green balloon.
Is this where the picture isn't in color?
Yeah, I'm like gonna...
The photograph from Master Gotts may well be hiding one more vital clue.
What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph
Caused
prove?
the explosion.
This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene.
Good lord! Is that a crossbow?
Oh, now
No.
you can
It's a
see
cross between a bow and a gun. I've taken to calling it a bun myself. But, An arrow dipped in oil and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Disillusion Plays The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah,
I'm Sarah,
I'm Pete.
and I'm Taylor.
and also introducing Sarah with a cold.
Cold Sarah.
First installment
Sarah.
of Cold Sarah.
Oh no.
So, yeah, fun stuff.
Whatever shall we do?
But if you do like what we do, before we jump on in, why don't you give us a little like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Yeah,
Really helps us out. We appreciate it.
we do.
Yes.
We do.
We do.
And now, that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. The
what truth?
miraculous.
What truth?
This... good grief! Objection! This is ludicrous! What you have described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic.
Oh, you've just made juror number 3 very angry. Or 4.
Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day.
In any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the Crystal Tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can be easily explained by some simple deception. Juror number 3, it was 3. All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Asman.
Well, like
And having
myself.
this, more like myself, and having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double. Ah, yes! Of course! So, in fact, Mr. Asman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start. Do you suppose that was the only reason why he was a magician? Specifically for that one moment?
Maybe.
Objection! That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the four winds when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture. Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend on the mixture ratio.
Boy, it's a good show that we have these jurors who are able to actually contribute evidence to the case, which they're not supposed to do. Juror number 4!
I'm so glad they've been picked at random.
Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases, such as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. The mixture ratio. Obviously,
Damn, why did I pick a scientist for the jury?
the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would be unavoidable. But not to such an extent as to render this whole obscene charade impossible.
Oh, bugger.
So, everything that happened can be explained logically and scientifically. Emma Skye would be so proud. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred.
Well, goodness me.
And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the... Killed? I killed him.
It will kill.
It will kill.
I will kill you. The hell? Come on there, Taylor. He couldn't have been killed by the defendant who was on... I was doing so good with being serious, and it was that he couldn't have been killed. I think it was because it was
killed.
being killed. I think it was just because Ben was being killed.
Yeah.
He couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time.
You nearly kind of did it again.
Oh no, now I've killed Prosecutor Van Zieks.
Oh no! Oh no! The pointing, the camera.
This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter.
Don't better.
Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that Professor Harebrayne is a suspect now. Oh, can't...
Hold it.
Harebrayne.
Yeah.
Because he won't back down because of his pride.
Hold it! Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts, thank you.
Are you going to appreciate them so much that you're going to be quiet and let me continue your defense to prove that you're innocent?
However, I will no longer require your assistance, thank you.
Oh, bother.
But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please.
Sorry?
What's all this about, Mr. Harebrayne?
Not sure about that time.
Is he gonna, confess to the murder just so that he can continue living this fantasy world that his
Probably.
scientific machine worked?
Probably.
Maybe. I, Albert Harebrayne,
Oh, no!
Yep.
hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Asman.
Oh, you...
Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver.
Sticky? Kill.
Sticky? I know I said we can't kill anybody, but now's a good time.
Yeah, I think probably a good time.
Yeah, very good time. Judge?
Judge,
I know. I was waiting for Naruhodo to say, "What are you doing?" But
Well, how am I gonna say the line if you don't put it up on screen?
well, I did put it up on screen, but you were you were doing a bit. and
What are you doing?
It went away.
Order! Order! Order!
It's going so well.
Defendant, explain this sudden confession.
Because he's an
He's
idiot.
Objection! Professor Harebrayne, what are you talking about?
It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine.
You, sir, are a fool.
Yeah, I just sort of want to bop him on the head.
Harebrayne, more like half-wit.
You stand there and claim it was all a trick, all an elaborate prank, but where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would all be over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it.
It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you'll just let me, I can prove—
Barak!
Yes.
I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say, I swear it. So please, ensure the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation!
But if he's accused of murder, they're going to look at it anyway. Wasn't that the point? Was it if he's convicted, they get to destroy it anyway?
No, I think it's if it was the murder weapon. That's what I think it was. If it was the murder weapon, then it doesn't. It's whatever, excluded from the act, and they can look at it and determine how it was used. But if it wasn't used as the murder weapon, then it's still protected, even if he's the killer, which is why he's confessing. Because if he confesses and says that he stabbed the guy, then his machine isn't the murder weapon, and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Please throw the wine bottle
Allow
at
me
his head.
to stare wistfully into the foreground.
But to
while
be honest, I think
pause.
if he threw the wine bottle at his head, it would just bounce off his hair. It's like a cloud.
He would remain unharmed.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend.
I'm not sure where you come off being so cocky. You know the only reason why this is happening is because he's a harebrain. What?
And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accused's confession.
Oh, so suddenly we don't care about the truth very much, Gasp.
Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick?
Yes.
Because the moment you do...
No.
Sorry, I just wanted to savor the wine.
I thought more. I pressed the button, but no more text came. I'm like, okay. It just triggered the sniff.
The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply.
Don't challenge me like that,
The
Francis.
The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth.
Go ahead, then.
However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved.
What was that going to be?
Yep. Reversed, I guess.
Reversed.
Preserved. I don't know what happened.
Reversed is not a word.
Provost is not a word. Gasp. Gasps in British.
Counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter?
That the professor is a pain in my backside.
You could say he's a brain in my backside.
That's a
What
weird
Professor
image.
Harebrayne, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence? Or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Well, asserting the innocent, this is not even a choice.
No.
This is not, sorry, you're living in Fantasyland. It's okay. Science is iterative. Maybe you just have to start from the drawing board again. But it didn't work anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not like they're going to get anything of value.
Yep.
At the end of the
See
day,
him-
it's the pursuit of the truth. That's what we need to do.
Yes.
We have to reach out to the truth.
Yes.
But see him condemned. Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust.
You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind?
Wow.
Oh, well, someone took their racist pills this morning.
Yes. Someone got on bed the wrong side and took a wrong sip.
Call.
took a sip out of the wrong side of his chalice.
Woke up on the wrong side of the coffin.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Shut up, you.
There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something. But what?
Oh, Sticky, help me.
What do you think, Sticky?
Why aren't you saying anything? Help me.
Why is it that
The
now?
defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was, in fact, a conjuring trick.
A conjuring trick.
Yeah, we've got to.
Boom.
I'm sorry, Professor, but you've annoyed me twice.
So you have chosen death. then.
So you have chosen death.
Ah!
Oh, he didn't do the. I wonder if that was the slap animation. I wonder if there'd have been a slap. If we'd have chose the wrong one. Oh, the eyes.
No! I can't say it! My client placed his faith in me!
Oh, no.
I can't just let him down!
Do we actually have to pick the other
Oh,
one?
God.
Oh,
Oh, who's this?
a mysterious.
Sticky?
It could be. Maybe it is.
Ryunosuke, what must I give up on? It's not the question.
Well, Sticky was Kazuma, was it not?
Yes, it was. I guess
be
it should
Kazuma.
be me then. What must I give up on is not the question you have to ask yourself here. It definitely is Kazuma. I can't speak. Arise, arise.
Arise, arise.
It's what can I protect? Oh,
Yee! Susato!
okay. Can I redo those lines,
Yeah.
Sato, please? What must I give up on? It's not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what can I protect? Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long.
It's great to see you, but how and when did you get up here? I mean, I just...
Oh no, I'm hallucinating, aren't I?
Susato-san!
I'm sorry, Sticky, but I guess I won't need your assistance
But
after
what
all.
are you... Oh!
Gosh!
Ah! My first Susato takedown in 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand.
Could there have been time to throw me later, maybe?
No, I needed to knock some sense into you.
Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. Professor Harebrayne!
Ah, yes?
Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too.
Yes, of course.
And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Asman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you?
By the time bullshitting, yes.
Darling.
That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now.
Yeet.
away.
Oh, my eye!
So, you finally opened your eyes.
I can see why these are cheap tickets.
Is that supposed to be another racist joke?
Ah, mean.
Oh, what was that? I missed that. What?
So you finally opened your eyes.
Oh. That's
And
mean.
as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer.
Ah,
Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say?
My hypothesis!
Baroque!
Lord Van Zeeks.
Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before.
It sounds just
I
the
didn't
same.
hear anything different.
it's just the same as all the rest of the time.
I don't know that voice anymore.
In truth, there is one thing. Something I've remembered that's of relevance.
Oh, good. It's not as if you've waited until the worst possible time to remember it. I mean, what?
On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow.
Oh, I beg your pardon?
I'm not going to repeat myself.
Professor! Did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like?
Quite like drawer number 3, actually.
Tall, taller than me, and thin, thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter, and whiter than mine. Let me see. One less lens than me, too. A monocle.
Natural.
A rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well.
Oh,
Maybe you could have led with that
After-
one.
yes.
After all, he's the engineer who built my invention.
Oh!
What?
Yes. What?
And you're telling me this now?
He built the machine?
Yes, that's right. Mr. Asman introduced me to him a year ago.
Has he got a twin brother?
He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber.
And Enoch?
Drebber? Like Drebber? Does this name
I'm trying to think of the pun.
does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered.
It's either that or it'll be a reference to the old Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that'll probably be it.
Maybe.
Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination.
Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either.
It's like, close your mouth, I can see your breakfast.
You're catching flies.
Like, Jesus.
It's like Attack
Who
on
on
Titan.
earth is he?
Oh.
Oh.
I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. I mean, I have also heard him go by the name of Billy Bob Johns,
Billy Bob.
perhaps Maximilian
Billion
Galactica, although Enoch Drebber is his primary handle.
And then people keep it confusing the magic with science and the science with magic. It's an absolute abomination.
Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money.
When magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhand cards. Cards. Where am I getting these from? I don't know.
Come on, out with it, man!
I have heard of them resorting to these underhand tactics.
Trying to keep all the audience in suspense.
Have you ever heard of 1,000 card pickup? Well, you have now. Some acquaintances of mine with experience of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before.
The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's
yes,
Enoch
Enoch
Drebber
Drebber-
for you.
Enoch Drebber is indeed a reference to a Sherlock Holmes story.
Yeah, is it Study in Scarlet?
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw that he was in the Baker Street wiki.
The shuffling.
Shuffle, shuffle. I would love it if there was just like a silent, like,
Yeah.
just to, you could hear a pin drop, but all you hear is, could you please not do that right now?
Very distracting.
So it's true then. My invention. My great machine. It was just a grand illusion. Grand illusion?
Say grand.
Grand
A
illusion.
keel.
It feels kind of weird.
Heel.
A keel.
Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character,
Sounds like a lovely fellow.
I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely.
Even though no one else believed it. I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted.
Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume.
I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen. But at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, a work of deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect.
So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber.
I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it.
It's entirely possible that Mr. Asman and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. But then Drebber decided, yes, well, I could take it all for myself, couldn't I?
I don't like to share.
Bleh.
When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Mr. Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. I really am a harebrain.
No.
Oh.
Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act?
I think that might have been written up by a reserve course student.
Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry.
At least he's not shuffling the cards this
I
time.
was half expected to see him still shuffling the cards.
It would appear that we shall have to
I'm
suspend.
sorry.
It will appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now.
Oh, but we're only halfway through the episode.
Lord Van Zeeks? My lord. The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man, if possible. I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, my lord.
I should make him the main dish. I mean, main priority.
After the trial, of course. Counsel for the defense?
Yes, my lord?
Like a rabbit caught in headlights.
When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you.
Oh no.
Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime which he presently stands accused.
I understand. Although, if the machine is a flim-flam, then that should
Good.
be job sorted, right?
In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning.
Oh dear.
But we're gonna have to do the Ace Attorney thing. No, it's not enough for you to prove that the defendant didn't do it. You also have to find out who did it. But that's not my job! Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Yes, it is.
Well, as I guess they're out early for today. What am I having for lunch? I think the missus might have packed me a sandwich. But the missus never uses enough mustard for the... Oh, he's... Okay.
Mr. Naruhodo!
I mean, she's not even packed a sandwich, for what it's just one slice of bread. You can't really call that a sandwich, can you?
Stick of celery and a carrot.
I think she's mad at me, but then I try to talk to her, and then she says she doesn't want to talk, and then I'm just trying to do my best. I come to work, and I stand here all day, so I spend all day not talking to anybody. I'll just sit here and stare. How am I supposed to come home and communicate my feelings?
I think he needs a therapy session. He needs a couples therapy session.
I think he needs to have I think he perhaps needs to have a lie down on that couch there.
Tell me about your mother.
Yes? Well, that's the thing about my mother and my father both. It began all with the day of my birth.
Oh, no, I'm sorry I asked.
Both of them failed to show up.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm detecting some kind of shenanigans here.
I'm adopted.
I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess.
Oh, wow, this is like me trying to hold a normal conversation.
How did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry.
Sounds like me.
Did you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean. About what he was really constructing.
Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it.
All right. In that case, I won't say any more because I don't want to hurt your feelings. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands. They think you killed the man, so we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow.
These bloody glasses, they won't stay on my face.
Well, thank you for doing so much for me.
Now, how did you get here? I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo.
No, it's okay. I had Sticky to help. Arriving late.
Sticky. Who is Sticky, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, he's just a dear friend.
Oh.
He just slowly kind of puts his hand over the googly eyes.
I see. Didn't you receive... Don't look, Sticky. I can't. I don't want to replace you, but Susato can actually talk back to me.
The mental image of him just very quietly putting his hand over the handle of the sword, like, no, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Oh dear. Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive.
Oh, let's see. There was something I was supposed to give to Mr. Naruhodo this morning. But I've forgotten it. It probably wasn't important to begin with. Oh, what's this colorful postcard? Oh, that's probably nothing.
On the fire.
On the fire. Postcard?
Hello, where's the postcard from Mr. Zato?
Oh, dear.
Postcard?
The picture thingy that's written with writing on the back.
Well, some mysteries just can't be solved, my dear. Postcard? What postcard?
No.
I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise.
Ooh, thank you so much, Iris.
I love
happy you
children.
I love children so much.
Gun!
Well, did it work?
I was surprised, all right. Especially when she threw me to the ground.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry.
You weren't sorry at the time.
I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in future.
Oh, this is really hard to do because my nose is really blocked and she's really breathy. And I'm running out of air. When I was like,
You must remember to breathe.
Susie's train was later to London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she didn't miss the whole trial.
that's called animal abuse, Iris.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I was watching in the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Oh?
Having you at my side in court gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm, delighted to see you back in London.
Sticky, don't listen to this. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here.
You're special as well, Sticky. You never left my side.
I hope I can continue to be of service to you.
Of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest? Mikotoba?
No, you were right,
You're
Makotoba.
Oh, Makot.
Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we?
So I wasn't going on about my feelings and my trauma at all. I was just having this conversation where I'm
Look,
having
I
an
think you
emotional
really need to
breakdown in the
talk
back.
things through with your wife. I think that's probably the best port of call, not with a complete stranger. Anyway, you know I've made one of my most special blends ever for this occasion.
Oh, Iris! How wonderful! I can't wait!
Inspector Gregson will be very jealous.
He will.
Susato-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time. But despite my elation and my bruised back, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn.
Oh, gosh.
Uh-oh.
Another turnabout.
There's always a turnabout. To be continued.
I wonder if they mentioned turnabouts in Ghost Trick. Yes!
Let us save the game. That was Herlock on the silhouette was Herlock, I thought.
I can't see.
23rd of October, 2:41 p.m. Naruhodo Legal Consultancy.
Oh, this room. It's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though.
You really are quite untidy, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to say so, familiar.
Boom!
I love these low-key jabs.
I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you'd left it, certainly not.
Good
because I
save,
think
good
that-
save.
That's very flattering, but that is not going to excuse you from being messy.
But it has been some 6 months, it's true.
So is your father all right, Susie? What happened?
My father?
Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason.
That's right! So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised, but happy.
Oh, no.
He said it was just a prank, bro.
I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that.
Well, we're all delighted to have you back.
It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference call called the International Forensic Science Symposium.
IFS. The International Forensic... That's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned.
Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that and all that matters now is that I'm here. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris.
Oh?
You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan.
Yes, of course, I shall.
And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who? About Kazuma.
I know. I'll tell you all that I can.
I don't remember what she said about Kazuma.
When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely.
The awful trial? Oh, yes. For the murder of the murder of Jezaille Brett.
Ooh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie?
Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice.
But everybody
Wow.
knew.
Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it, don't you, Runo?
Oh, yes, but I think I might have seen... Well, I have a feeling someone saw it, at least. Wink. Yes, I suppose so.
I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false moustache, maybe.
I don't think any moustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Miss Susato. It's about the real reason why Professor Makotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings?
That's right. A very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time here in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet.
Why would that be, then?
Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets.
Ooh, Susie?
That's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris there. Oh, bother.
Yes, I forgot about that part. I'd
Maybe
best-
at least one? Maybe one secret, maybe?
Yes, I'd best not name drop any names in front of the little 10-year-old.
I'm not going to keep any more secrets. Iris, Santa Claus isn't real. The Easter Bunny isn't real. Oh, and by the way, your father's been murdered.
What?
Sorry?
Sorry?
Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium, too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend.
Yes, I'm from Japan. My father and Judge Gyoku have been invited.
I say Jigoku.
Jigoku, sorry.
Yes.
Ah, yes, London. How long it's been since I've smelled things quite like this. Oh, dear God. Never mind, I want to go back.
I remember why I left in the first place.
Good God, man, it's like you're being waterboarded without any assistance.
Oh, Jesus.
Where's the air? Where are the trees?
There is no air.
Do they have any weather besides rain? No? All right,
There's
then.
nothing green here. Where's the life, the nature?
It's something of an honor, I believe.
Well, Professor Makotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? Judge, did you say?
Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seishiro oh my God.
I think like Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court. can't possibly have forgotten.
It was a few episodes ago, so, I mean, chances are we may have.
Ah, yes.
That terrible trial of yours, where you were accused of murder.
And you kept slapping your desk.
Ah, yes, I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days.
I want you to know that I can still hear you. Well, it was, oh my god. Now
Jigokum!
I'm sorry, it's just, because I can't say it, it's now making me nervous every time it comes up.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
I've got like stage fright all of a sudden. Jigoku.
Jigoku.
Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial. I'm really struggling.
Oh, you're doing fine.
You're doing fine.
Just fine.
If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy to never see that man's face again in my life.
Well, that's just rude!
Mr. Naruhodo, I want you to know that he stood right behind you.
Hello, Mr. Naruhodo.
And if you recall, he was a flipping unit.
Oh, God,
Yes, he was.
he was.
He was a full-on Giga Chad.
He didn't actually. Yeah, that whole like judge bench he was standing behind. There wasn't anything he was sat on. He was just literally that tall.
He's just standing there.
This towering colossal of a man. Oh, well, anyway, as father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead.
Yes, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important.
I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General.
The most senior position in the British justice system.
He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition.
Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday, except it was punctuated with a lot more wild gesticulations and talking about time and doves flying behind him.
Specifically.
But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it.
Oh dear. How trying for you.
Jezaille Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson.
What was that, Runo?
Nothing, this is internal.
It's not though, is it, if it's with Ryunosuke?
It's kind of like they think he's sort of thinking out loud. a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
probably not the best time to be thinking out loud.
Maybe in that instance he was actually thinking internally. I don't
Hopefully.
know.
Yes, Jezaille Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live.
The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget.
Sorry?
Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Jezaille Brett didn't actually exist.
What?
It was
Aye.
all made up by a writer.
You what, mate?
You what?
Didn't exist? But how can that be?
It was a pseudonym.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Shin?
A
A
Shin.
Shin. It was the last name on the list at the end of
Oh.
first game. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even remember that.
It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin. And she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front.
And her sister, Ni, was in cahoots with her.
A-Ni. A-Shin.
Amy.
And don't get me started on Brother Buttock.
And Cousin Foot.
was a foot.
A front? Who on earth was she then?
Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to... What's that?
The shin thing.
Oh,
It's
the
the body
shin thing.
part.
Oh dear. Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery.
It's a mystery on top of mystery.
But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to?
I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand.
And now she's been killed, while all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered.
I'm afraid so.
I guess we'll just have to look out for an ear. A. Shin. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that? I know that name! I've heard that name before somewhere.
After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange.
Oh,
There he is.
there he- oh.
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate. That's not the voice.
No.
Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know what the guy. They don't know that the guy never made it to England. That he died on that steamship, and that he'll never.
And then he got taken down by the judge.
Yep.
Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama.
And what did you learn?
Nothing. After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there.
Should have been?
Well, turns out that his body never arrived.
What?
Eh? It just disappeared.
As they often
As
do.
bodies want to do.
Has it gone up and walked away?
Okay.
What? Kazuma's body vanished. Oh no, did they put him on a tarp and drag him to the biology lab?
Oh no!
On a trolley. A hand cart.
Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Ayla, be serious. You naughty boy. Except Kazuma-sama isn't there.
Did Professor Mikotoba know about this?
Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak.
I just don't believe it. What is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Zombies. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Burya were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive?
Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo! It's too much to bear!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he?
Oh, yes.
And he had quite a different affectation to his voice back then, too.
And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly.
And Sholmes has never
Well,
ever once been wrong.
I was about to say, well, for all we know, that means that we should just, we didn't massage the deduction, so...
Wow.
completely disregard whatever he came out with.
Ah, you're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us.
What?
But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing.
Not that we know of.
That we know
Yeah,
of!
not at the minute.
I suppose... Well, he was really cagey with the Hand of the Baskervilles thing, too.
Yeah, he was.
Huh. I suppose that's true, yes.
The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turned out not to be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what it might do to me.
Oh, Miss Susato. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about after all. So I probably shouldn't push it now. Oh, everything's fine.
I mean, I know how she feels.
We can't move, so I guess we need to present something. My trusty armband.
You're still taking good care of that armband, I see. I'm so pleased.
Well, yes, it feels like I wouldn't be me without it now, to be honest.
Oh dear. There seems to be a thread coming loose just there, look. I'd be only too happy to mend it for you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, thank you. I must have scraped it against something again. I'm always doing that.
Then take better care of it, please.
It was all going so well until I ruined it.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Although I also feel like we also should inspect the shovel real quick. As it's this game's equivalent of the stepladder thing, right?
Yeah.
Thinking back, that spade's been in here since we first moved in, hasn't it?
I'm sure I've told you before, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not a spade. It's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
The great spade shovel war rages on.
Okay. Oh!
Iris is there.
How long have you been standing there?
Literally the entire conversation. It must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes.
Gun!
It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the Baskervilles.
And I said that you must never publish it, dear Iris. Did you not listen? I can
Iris, I hear you talking about the Hound of the
Sorry.
Baskervilles again.
Sorry, what was that, Hurley? I can't hear you over this new experiment that I'm doing. Sorry!
But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it. And put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it.
So nobody knows anything about it apart from Hurley and I. For some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie?
Yes, she did, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it sounds so exciting! The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it.
And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it.
Yes. But I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time.
Oh no.
Oh?
I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before I left Japan.
We left Japan.
But we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, "The Hound of the Baskervilles."
What?
My Baskerville story?
Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time. Father came in and...
Zato, what are you doing?
Oh, Father!
Did you look at those papers?
No, I simply read the label, that's all.
Well, put it out of your mind.
Sorry?
Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this.
Oh, oops. I forgot about that part.
Do you understand? Do you understand?
Slightly judgy.
But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan?
That's a good question, Ryunosuke. What was Iris's
bother.
manuscript doing in Japan? Just as we start
I
to,
hate myself so much this recording session.
just as we start to get to the juicy deets,
Why?
we have to snatch it away. Sorry, guys.
Unfortunately, yes, we're out of time.
We're going to be dragging it out for yet another episode, everybody.
That's what we do best. But
That's it.
yeah, sadly, all good things must come to an end. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. If you do like what we do, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and you'll be notified of our video uploads every Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And until next time, we'll see you again.
Catch you in the next one, everybody.
And remember, a spade is for scooping up loose material. That's not a shovel, it's a spade!
No, it's a shovel, Mr. Naruhodo.
Spade!
Shovel!
Spade!
Shovel.
Spade!